Okay, when you get to the end of your report, a couple things you're going to do. Next to the inbox button is your complete PCR button. I'm going to click that. What it's going to do is going to take the report that we've completed and run it against a set of rules. These rules are predetermined, but they're also changing at times because we might find little things here that need to be tweaked. What I mean by rules, I'll pull up the menu here. This is something that runs in the background on the Zoll server, and these are all created to work with the Zoll software and also the program you're using and are specific to us. Because State of Illinois has different requirements than other states, these are pertinent to what we do here. As you can see, it's an inclusive list. These are all for interventions that you're seeing here. As I scroll down, it gets to be things about the call itself. What these rules are actually designed to do for us is to make sure we're hitting all our data elements within the report so we're compliant with NEMSIS, and also so that we don't get ourselves in trouble legally, and make sure we have the most accurate data reporting that we can. I'm going to minimize this down and we'll go back to the report itself, but I just want to give you an idea of the rule set that it's comparing it against because it's quite extensive. We'll minimize this down. So in the background, that runs, and then we get these errors that pop up. Now this report, there's certain things that are left blank, so we can review that. This is documented as a motor vehicle accident. I'm going to talk about these different rules associated with an MVA in a second, but let's start here with, at the bottom, vital signs. Once I click on it, it'll bring me to the general area of where the error occurs. It won't always take me exactly where it is. Since this is a menu where things are added, it might not necessarily take me back to where I have to go. So I will open up the blood pressure here, and note the error said that the taken time must be filled out, or must occur within the on-scene time or at patient side and the depart scene, or must be noted as prior to arrival otherwise. So we'll put our time in. I'll come back and click complete PCR. And I'll bring up the error messages again. Now it's telling me that my vital signs, diastolic blood pressure cannot exceed systolic blood pressure. So I'll go back into my vital signs here, open it up, and here we are. I got 160 over 196. So I'll take out the 1 and go back to complete PCR. Patient disposition. Now if I click on this one, it'll take me right to it because it's within the main menu. There's not a sub-menu such as there are with vital signs, interventions, etc. We'll go treated and transported, complete PCR. This is one of those features to the reporting software that requires a little bit of experience getting used to. As you go do more and more reports, you'll understand what is and isn't required. So it might take some time when you initially start doing reports to go with this inclusive list. Now since I selected MVA, it has a few things it's going to require me to input, and this is State of Illinois and NEMSIS requirements. You can see the vehicle impact location is required, occupant safety equipment, and also airbag deployment. So when I click on this, it's going to take me to here. It didn't tell me much about where I have to go to find these things. So this is a common error we see and kind of a common cause for reasons of why reports cannot be completed. If I open up my MVA category, I notice I have things like protected devices or vehicle impact location that coincide with those closed call rules that we were seeing earlier. So I open up my vehicle impact location. We didn't select anything. I'll click here. Go back to complete PCR. And that is now cleared. Now they want to know about occupant safety equipment and also airbag deployment. Okay. So I'll go back to my MVA. Now these are both located under protected devices. The protected devices will have airbag underneath it. So when we're looking at this menu, we might be expecting to see airbag, but click here, and at the bottom, it's right here. So we'll say there was no protected devices and airbags. There was a front deployment of the airbag. I'm going to go to click complete PCR. Now everything from my MVA is satisfied from a closed call rule standpoint. We'll input the patient gender and click complete again. Once I get to this screen, I then select who is completing the report, put in the password, and click done, and it will complete the report. One thing I want to point out about these rules, especially in regards to the MVA, once I click on this to satisfy the closed call rule, it gives me a few different options here from which to choose from. Essentially, there are different rule items that are tied to this, so it's asking you which one of these do you want to edit to make it conform to the rule. Obviously, we know that the mechanism of injury is motor vehicle accident, so we're not going to change that. So we're going to go to our incident and trauma code, and this is where we're going to add our vehicle impact location.